Okay, I believe I'm recording the whole screen. Okay, everyone, open your Visual Studio. I assume this is so easy. We don't need to wait on that. So here, open a project. You will see this reference folder. Click on that. Okay, there might be a you just wait. Okay, and then you will be on. Okay, go to this one, .NET Assembly. Okay, are you there yet? Some people might suffer a delay, some might not. But anyway, you click on this browse here, and you import the two things I told you to download earlier. Those two things, check on them. Check. And okay. If anybody's falling behind, just let me know. Otherwise, I assume everyone is on the same page. Okay. Okay, it looks like everyone's good. So click on this package. You will see NUnit. If you don't see NUnit, just search for NUnit. This NUnit, and then add package. Okay. Yours might require some time to download, so I will wait. So if you see this, that means you are good. Are we good? You will see the two DLL I told you to import and the NUnit package I told you to get. Okay, now so create a new folder just by add a new folder like this. Create a new folder called unit testing, and in this folder you should get those two files. Where did you get those two files? As I told you earlier, here. Okay, these two files. You see these two files. These two files should go here. Are we good? If you don't say anything, I assume you are good. Okay, so what these files, okay, let me explain what they are. Okay, so Zenject here, Zenject is the dependency injection framework I told you last time. So that is the somebody else's stuff. Okay, we just use that. It's dependency injection framework. Okay, remember last time I told you there are two ways to do dependency injection. One is constructor, one is setter, right? The other one I didn't tell you last time is the dependency injection by framework, which we use this. Okay, what is this NUnit? You might use some G unit, J unit, NUnit basically are the same thing. That is the unit testing framework. Okay, so they are independent things, independent frameworks we are going to borrow. Okay, since they are independent, how do we use them simultaneously? Okay, then that comes to my genius invention. Okay, not really my invention, but I wrote this code. So let's go to this code and we talk about this, what this code is. Okay, this code I created a unit test base. So every time you create a unit testing, you inherit from this unit testing base, and you will be good. So what this is this has a list of installers. What are installers? Installers are basically a file that tells you how to inject stuff. Okay, basically it's a set of instruction that tells you how to inject stuff. Okay. Here I gave you some convenient things you might use the print, which we'll discuss later. Okay. So what happens? So on the setup, which you can think of this as a constructor equivalent, in the setup it will, for each installer it had, okay, installer, there's a list of installer. For each list of installer it has, it's going to bind wait. So the 我刚才写的代码呢？
你刚写的不是这个吗？你有一个 bind， 我刚才只是靠 window。
one moment, some technical difficulty. Okay, one moment. 我代码呢？我操。Somebody answered me this question. Okay, go to this binding installer. For this container, somebody speak up. Do you see git or do you see both git and set? Do you see both git and set? Somebody speak up. Somebody? Some of okay, sure. Windows should have the same idea. Okay, Windows Visual Studio is a little different. Maybe somebody has a Windows version can share how to do it with other people. But we have a more urgent question. So when you go to this binding installer and you go to this container, do you see only git, or you see both git and set, right? Everyone else, do you all see git and set? Okay, something wrong with my code. I need to figure out what happened. Do you all see both get and set? If you see both get and set, that will be right. But for some reason, my code disappeared. I'm figuring out what happened. Oh, I think I know what happened. I think I just happen to know what happened. Okay, now we are good. Never mind. Okay, so you see both this get and set like mine, right? Now, okay, that would be good. Okay, that would be good. I was on a different branch of Git, so that probably gave me this issue. Okay, anyway, let's go on. So we were talking about talking about right over here. So in this setup, which is basically something to initialize this class, for each installer it has, it's going to install that installer like this, and at the end the container will inject into this class. Basically, will fulfill all the everything that this class is asking for. This inject will will fulfill that. Okay, I know it sounds confusing, but later we will do it hands-on, and you will have a better idea what's going on. So anyway, now let's create in this folder, create a new class, new file. Okay, new file. Okay, okay, okay. If you have this option, good, just use this option. But I know some of you might not have this option, so if you don't, speak up. If you don't, let me know. Do you? Who does or who doesn't? Do you have this option? Ununit. Somebody? Andy, what do you mean? Can you speak up?
My Visual Studio can only support C++ projects now, and installing some plugins, perhaps.
Oh, that's weird. Visual Studio should support C#. Actually, Visual Studio is like made for. But anyway, anybody else getting this problem? Anyone else? You knew a project. Okay, I forgot to say you knew a project. You just file new. You just new one and select library. You should be able to new one. Do you want me to start everything? Do you want me to start everything from scratch from this step? Do you, or did somebody speak up? Did I lose everybody, or are you still following me, or do you want me to start all over from nothing? So are you still installing a unit?
Yes, actually, I'm still trying to install that unit. Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
I'm trying to install the reference. So I think maybe that we should do that not here. Yeah, because it's too slow. Everyone in different that. Yeah, it's not very efficient.
Actually, let me start. Let me start from a new project so we can walk through everything step by step. Okay, so as I said earlier, we knew a different project. Okay, and let's name it demo. Okay, let's name it demo. Okay, create. So everybody just follow me from here. Okay, you should have a fresh, brand new project, right? Are you following me?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have a new project, nothing. Okay, literally nothing in here, just here example class, you can delete it. Okay, remove, delete. Okay, you don't need that. Okay, now click on this package. Oh, I know Windows Visual Studio might have something different, but the idea is basically the same. So you will search NUnit. Okay, NUnit. Okay, you will see a bunch of NUnit, and the only one you need is the NUnit. Okay, you select this one. Are we good? If you're not good, speak up.
Hey, I have a question. So I got lost earlier so we need to install Visual Studio and new unit and what else?
NUnit. We are doing that right now.
Okay.
NUnit. We are installing NUnit right now together.
So we can install any version of this Visual Studio.
Any Visual Studio.
Any Visual Studio. And what about NUnit?
Give the I think any reasonably new NUnit should be good. For example, here my version is 3.10.1. Okay, so we are doing everything together. So just get a reasonably new NUnit. I don't think we will have much difference.
Is there anything else besides those two that we need to install?
Yes, the bunch of stuff I threw on Slack. Okay, so it's not really, you don't really install that, you just download it. Okay, so
is it the binding installer CS and the unit test base CS? That's the only two I see on Slack.
Okay, yeah, you will see binding installer and the unit testing base. They are C# classes. You see those, right? Do you?
I only see two.
Okay, now screw up. Do you see those? It's on.
I only see two.
June 13th. Do you? If you don't, do you? If you don't, anyway, I will just I will.
Oh, I see. Is that from
June 13th? Is that from
Wednesday?
June 13th. Yeah, you need to screw up. Yeah, Wednesday. You need to screw up to find those.
Okay.
So 4 things you need to download from Slack. This Zenject test DLL, Zenject DLL, and binding installer the CS and unit test base the CS. You should download all those things. Okay, you should have all those things downloaded. You should be able to see them here. Are we good? Okay, now.
So after we download those 4 things, is there like a folder we should put them in, or is it just all 4 files in the same folder? It'll be fine.
Oh, we will get there. Hold on. Okay, just download them first. Okay, we will get there. Okay, so NUnit. Everyone able to find NUnit? Let me start over. You should be able to see this package thing. This is the solution, right? I created a project called demo, right? Here there's a package. I click on this package, it will open. Double click, actually, I double click on the package, and I should be able to search NUnit. This one. Anybody not able to find NUnit? If you don't say anything, I assume you can find NUnit. You have no problem. Okay. Nobody saying anything, so I assume everyone can find NUnit. And then add package. Okay, mine is already downloaded, so it will instantly appear here. Yours might take some time to download. That's no problem. We'll wait. Most likely everybody is. That's why you need to speak up. If you don't speak up, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you don't speak up, I don't know if you are able to follow me. If everybody can see this, like, say something if you can see this. If you see this, you are good. If you don't see this, you are not good. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I think I have I think I have installed an unit, but in Windows there is no folder named package.
Oh, okay. Windows Visual Studio. How many of you are using Windows? Let me know. Speak up.
I am.
Okay, 1, 2, 2. Okay, only 2.
I'm also.
Okay, 3. More. 3. Okay. 3 of you are using Windows. Maybe you don't have this package like this, but you have something similar to a package. For example, if do you have this? Do you have project? Do you have?
Yes.
Do you have this? Do you have this? There's something called add package something. Or do you not see it?
We see it.
Yes or no?
There is a manage enough package.
Okay, can you speak up to let other people know? If you're able to find a solution for Windows, like, speak up to let other people know. Okay.
Yes. I find the solution. Yeah, on the project there is a manage and get package, and under that we can install the unit.
Okay, can you type that up on Skype? Just type it. Type you how to do it on Skype so other people can see it. Other people can project manage. Yeah. Okay. If everyone on Windows is able to get here, let me know. So yeah, some technical difficulty. The Visual Studio for Windows and Mac are kind of different. Yeah, please speak up and be interactive. That's why. Okay. Andy, are you able to install a unit? Ricky, are you able?
No, still not.
Tom, can you give them some help?
I already told them, yeah. Yeah. So I mean that this is not hard, but can be time consuming sometimes.
Can you send a screenshot, something like that?
Oh, sure. I try to do that.
Actually, I'm wondering if I'm creating the right type of project.
It doesn't. At this point, it doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a C# project. If you're gonna create, as long as it's a C# project. Okay, so Tom just sent a screenshot.
Not clear.
Like this. So yeah, like this. Do you not see it? Okay, are you able to follow Tom's screenshot and do it?不清楚。
Yeah, I send a new one, much more clear one.
Yeah, it's better now. Now this one is better. Okay, so can you now able to see it? You basically click on this project and
Manage get package.
oh yeah, manage yes, and manage get new get packages. Able to follow. Who is not able to follow? Okay. The Windows people, are you able to follow?
Well, I think there's something wrong with my Visual Studio, so I will fix that. You can go on.
Maybe you created a are you creating a C# project? Can you like create a new one? Make sure it's C#.
Yes, it's C# project, but when I try to install a unit, I click it and they told me it things like you have no reference or something like that. I'm searching it on Google and finding some solutions. There's something wrong with my Visual Studio. Yes.
Okay. So it seems like only Andy is having problem. Is Andy the only one having problem? Okay, if nobody says anything, okay, I assume only Andy is having the problem. I assume Ricky, although you're also the Windows people, you are able to install NUnit. Okay, am I right? Okay, then we will move on. So, and you can still follow. You just don't have the IDE feedback, but you can still use the IDE like a text pad and to follow the rest of the exercise. Okay, now reference. I guess since this one's different, this one might be also different. So the Windows people, are you able to get something like this? Are you able to get something like this? Something like a .NET assembly. Reference. So the Windows people, are you getting something different than mine?
Yes, different.
Okay. You don't see anything called reference?
We see reference, but it's different. There are add reference, add service reference, and connected service.
A screenshot.
Okay.
Give me a screenshot. .NET assembly. If you double click on the reference, do you get something like this?
We do not have a package name reference. Yeah, it's different actually.
Yeah. So Yimin just sent a screenshot. If you create a project like this, you should be able to have everything like mine. Yeah, the problem is that I guess it's not, I suspect it's not so much about which project, but the version, the Mac version are different. Why don't we do this? Let's see what Google says. No, not this. Not C++. Drag the DLL into the toolbox. Does that work? Reference item. You don't have this reference.
Yeah, different.
what if you just drag it into your project?
No, it cannot work.
Okay. At least for the Mac people, are you able to follow me? For the Mac people, are you able to? Okay, yes. Okay, we lost the Windows people, but at least we have the Mac people. Okay, let me see a screenshot and figure out what's happening. Are you able to see something like this, Windows people?
Yeah, I think we can find that by ourselves. Yeah, you can go on.
Okay, so if you put your DLL into your solution, you cannot see it? That is weird. I don't remember I have such problem. I once used the the Windows version and I don't remember have much problem. Yeah, so this is a Windows version. It has a reference. Are you not getting this? You should be able to have this. Otherwise, I suspect you created the wrong project. Yeah, this is certainly a Windows version. Okay, are you able to see this?
Yes, I can say this, but it's different.
I suspect you created the wrong project. I mean, Visual Studio is created for Windows. It should be only more user-friendly on Windows than on Mac. So Solution Explorer, you should be able to explore. You should be able to see a reference like this. I can hardly imagine if you see something different. Okay. Did I lose all the Windows people? Okay, I guess that means yes. Yeah.
I could create a console application. Yeah, and I often use C#. I think I'm familiar with WPF, WinForm. So I don't think I created the wrong project.
But you don't have the reference.
Yeah, no reference.
But anyway, so for the Mac people, okay, now Windows people, you just use,
I think you can create a console application. It's just name. I send the picture. Its name is library. Only this kind of template have this package or reference something like that.
So what kind of package? I should create class library.
Yeah, I just see my picture. It's in the other folder, and there is a .NET, and in the .NET you can find a library. It means create an empty C# library. Yeah, and that should be the one we are using.
Okay.
I think it should be the console project.
Yeah, I created a console project. It also has both. I created a console project. It also has both. So I don't think. But you can try. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. But
yeah, you can go on.
Okay. let me go back to demo. So I don't think it's a type of project that matters. But anyway, we will go on. So the Windows people, you just use your Visual Studio like a plain text editor. So but you can watch what happens for the rest of us. Okay, so now we have the reference we need. Oh no, we don't. Okay, so for the Mac people, you should be able to find this, right? Okay, respond to me, that Mac people. Otherwise, I lost everybody. Are you? Are you
Yes.
good?
Yeah, I can find this.
Okay, so
If I try this too.
okay, so you browse to find the two Zenjack DLL to find them and check them here. Okay, if you don't see them here, just use browse to find them. I just told you to download them. Okay, so for the Mac people, you should have those three packages. You should have the Zenjack test, and the NUnit. If you have all three, we are ready to go. So add a new folder called unit testing. Okay, in this unit testing folder, you should now you should be able to find the tool I told you to get. You should be able to add those two files from here, the unit test base and the binding installer. Okay, remember I told you to download 4 things. The Zenjack should go to here, and those 2 files should go here. Okay, you will ask me how do you handle them. I recommend just move them to the directory. Now you'll be able to find them here. Are we good? Is everybody on the same page with me? If you don't say anything, I assume you are good. And we will go on. Okay. So add a new file in this unit testing folder. Some people might be able to see this option. Can see this option. Nobody? How many of you cannot see this option when you create a new file? This NUnit option. Okay, good. So I assume everybody can see this option. Okay. At least Yimin can see this option. So a unit test class, yeah, just leave it like this. But if you want to change it to another name, make sure you change it. Make sure you change the name now. Okay. Okay, you will be able to see this. And now you just inherit from the unit test base. Okay, you should be able to see those. But just in case those people doesn't have this option, I will tell you how to do it alternatively. Okay, go to general, go to empty class. Here, using NUnit framework. And above this class, say text fixture. Test fixture. Give it you give this attribute to this class, so the framework knows this is a testing class. Again, you inherit from unit test base. Okay, if you didn't use Zenject, make sure you use Zenject. You can delete this constructor. We don't need the constructor. And your compiler should give you error on this class. You right click on it, quick fix, implement abstract class. Okay, why this happened is because the unit test base, the file I created, is an abstract class that requires some override. And if I don't override that, the compiler will give me an error. So do this. It will ask me to set the installers. We'll leave it for now, and we'll go back to this later. Okay, so just make sure you delete your constructor so you don't have other problems. Okay. Are you following me? So even the Windows people, you should at least use your Visual Studio like a text editor to get here. Okay. So just for the record, if the compiler is giving you some error on this, on the NUnit framework, then you're something wrong with your NUnit. If your compiler is giving you error on this Zenject, then something wrong with your Zenject. Okay. What we are doing now is through this unit test base, I'm able to combine the advantage of both independent frameworks. I'm able to combine the advantage of both NUnit and Zenject. So, okay. So now we are going to do something with this unit testing class. So what we do is we start an attribute called test. Okay, attribute goes in square bracket. Make sure it's square bracket. Okay, make sure it's public. Make sure it's void. Okay, what do we want to test? We want to test we want to do some math. Okay, we do some math. Okay, how you do testing is you use assert. Assert is part of the NUnit framework. What do you want to assert? Assert are equal. Who and who are equal? 1 plus 1 and 2. Okay, are you able to get here? So here basically we want to write a test. What do we want to test? We want to test to see if 1 plus 1 is 2. We will create another test called math fail. Okay, well, it's called math fail. We will say 1 plus 1 equals to 3. Okay, so always remember, if you want to test it, give it a test attribute. Okay, give it a test attribute to this function. Make sure the class has this text fixture attribute. Function has this test attribute. The class has this attribute. Okay, so guess what happens? Are you able to see this? If you don't, if you don't see this, on the right bar you should see something called unit test. If you don't, you should go to view and check this test. You should be able to see this right toolbar called unit test. So you can click run all, and guess what happens? This one will succeed and this one will fail. Let's see if that's right. Yeah, we need to delete this. We created extra. Okay, we'll run this and see what happens. Oh, now the compiler is compiling the whole thing and run the unit testing. That's not good news. That's not a good news. So let's see what happened. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I just delete this. We'll come back to this later. Yeah, I forgot to delete that. Of course, that's going to give me an error. So now the compiler is recompiling the whole solution and running the test. Guess what? Exactly like we predicted. 1 + 1 = 2. This test passed, and the other one failed because 1 + 1 doesn't equal to 3. Okay, so if we change this to not equal, let's try again. You see, now all my unit testing just passed as we expected. Okay, if your unit testing show up all green, you should be happy. If you are okay, so now I want to ask you a question, and I want you to answer my question directly. So you speak up. Why do we do unit testing? What's the advantage to do this? Why do we want to do unit testing? In last week, we talked about the advantage of unit testing. I want to see if you still remember. Somebody answer the question. Why do we want to use unit testing? Anybody? This doesn't require you to install some unit package or Zenjet package. This one requires you to think. Why do we do unit testing? Why? Why? Nobody? Really? Speak. If you don't say something, I'll be here waiting. Come on. Okay, let me ask this question. Okay, have you tried to test your code, and after you're done testing your code, you deleted your testing? Have you done this? Have you deleted your testing code? Uh-huh. Have you deleted your testing code?
Yes,
Yes. Why? Why do you delete your testing code?
because it doesn't help with the whole project.
Okay, okay. Your testing code is not your real code, right? It's not really your real code. So you think that's useless code, right? But if it's useless code, why do you delete? Why do you write it in the first place? You see, there's a contradiction, right? You want to write the testing code, but it's not really useful code, so you delete it later. What if next time you want to test it again? Do you write the testing again? Right? So the reason why that happens is because there is no good place to write your testing code. So now with unit testing framework, there is a place to write your code. So next time if you decide you want to test your code again, you can do that systematically and automatically. It's automatic. You write it once, and every other time it will automatically do the testing for you. Why is that important? Because what if you delete your code and later you want to test it again? You need to rewrite the code, right? Writing code is hard. We don't want to waste your effort to write code. So if you write your code, you should keep it. Another thing, okay, the more important thing is that, okay, have you tried to debug your code, and when you fix one bug, you created 10 more bugs? Have you done that? Why do you think that happens? You fixed one bug and you created 10 more bugs. First of all, did that ever happen to you? No? You never experienced that? Or have you ever been afraid to change your code because you are afraid just changing one code might create 10 more bugs? Have you ever felt like that? No? Okay, if you don't interact with me, it's really lonely to say here. But anyway, the point is that with this unit testing, okay, if you make some change and you see something becomes red, then you know immediately your change created some unwanted side effect, right? But if you make a change and you run your unit testing again, everything is still green, then you are very confident your change didn't create any unwanted side effect. Do you agree? So with unit testing, you can confidently change your code without worrying about any side effect it might create, because any side effect it creates will instantaneously reflect on unit testings. Okay, if your change created a bug, if your change fixed one bug and created one bug, you will see that here immediately, and you will know what's going on. So this is the point of unit testing. So when you create a large scale, super large scale code, and one change might or might not create some other side effect to create even more bugs, and that's why you do it here. So now we have done teaching you about unit testing, but unit testing isn't really complete when you have unless you also have the dependency injection. So now I have a question for you. String let's make it simple. Let's say it's hello. Okay, so if I run this test now, what do you think it will happen? If I run this test now, what do you think will happen? Is it going to pass or fail, or you have no idea? Did it pass? No. Why not? Why not? The answer is even written here. The answer is the compiler already told you the reason why. You never initialize that value, right? You never initialize that value. Okay. So here we are going to use dependency injection to initialize that value. So basically what you do is you declare the inject attribute to this hello variable. Do you think it will be good? Now if I run that game, what do you think will happen? What do you think? It's not that hard. It's quite obvious. It's quite obvious. Why? What's going to happen? Speak louder, I cannot hear. It will fail. Why it failed? Because I didn't tell you. Huh? Speak louder. Oh, I cannot hear you, but so what happens basically I need to tell the dependency injection framework what do I inject in, right? What this means is basically I'm asking for the variable hello, but I'm asking for one, but I need to also declare what to give it. What I want to do here is basically saying that every time someone is asking for a string, give it hello. I need to do something like this here so that the framework knows how to initialize this variable. So how we do it? Hey, the singing guy. Hey. Who is singing? Please mute your mic. Whoever is singing, please mute your mic. I need to create an installer for this purpose. Okay, so that is why I gave you 2 classes for this. So for this one, inherit from binding installer and implement abstract class. And in here you will basically do this. Okay, how do you do this? Like this. Do you see how they are connected? Do you see how they mean the same thing? You're telling the injection container to bind the string to the instance of hello, so that every time somebody is asking for a string, you give it a hello. That's what happens. And here, so here, just for demo purpose, I wrote this class inside this class, right? But for convention, you always create a new file for a different class. So here I'm just putting the class here just for the ease of demonstration. And you create an installer here and add it to the installers. You can create multiple installers. You can add as many installers as you want, but here we only have one. So sometimes you need to add multiple installers is because you have, say, one sub project that use this installer and another sub project use another installer, and together the super project, you don't want to rewrite the installer again, so you just do this. Okay, now I'm going to run this and let's see what happens. So I'm running the unit testing, and you see all the tests passed. That includes this one. So the value of hello, the injected value of hello is indeed hello. So if I inject something else, like if I inject this hello, it will certainly fail the test. Just showing you. So if I inject hello, this test will fail, right? But this is not how you use dependency injection. This is a wrong way to use dependency injection. I'm just showing you what it is. So say I'm creating another class, right? Again, as a convention, every time you create a class, you create a file. But here, just for demo purpose, I'm creating everything in one file. Okay, so here I'm going to inject another variable called a printer. I'm going to inject a printer. Again, I don't initialize this. I don't initialize this variable. The framework is going to do it automatically for me. I'm creating another test. If I run this unit testing now, what do you think will happen? Is it going to pass or fail? If I run the if I run the unit testing now, do you think the print name will pass or fail? Come on, be interactive. Be interactive. It doesn't matter. Huh? Why fail? 这下好像我在我家好像怎么了？啊？我 print 的是这个，它是这个它的 getter。大写的，它的 getter， 这是它的 getter， 啊，它的 getter， 这是它的 getter。Why you Tom you said it is going to fail? Why? You said it's going to fail. Why? You are right, it's going to fail. It's going to fail very bad, very miserably. So this is a lesson for you to really remember. Just because it's asking for a printer, it failed everything. Why? Okay, so here's why. Just because it's asking for a printer, and just because there is already a printer, it doesn't mean the framework knows how to handle it. So you need to tell the framework how to inject. Okay, just because there is already a printer, just because it's asking for a printer, and just because there is already class printer, it doesn't mean the framework knows how to inject a printer. You need to tell the printer that you are telling the printer not printer, you're telling the framework this: every time someone is asking for a print printer create a new printer for it. Now I'm running the unit testing again, and if I did everything correctly, it should pass. That is right. So it should pass. Why? Because the printer has a name, printer, and I'm asserting the printer's name is printer. Okay. So now does the framework do this in this complicated way? It is because it allows you to extend printer without changing any code. So I'm only changing the installer, which is not, the installer is not really the real code, right? It's only wiring. So if I say this, if I bind printer to laser printer, right? If I bind printer to laser printer, what's going to happen?
It will fail.
It will fail, right? Because the laser printer's name is laser printer, right? Laser printer inherits printer, so I can still use laser printer as a printer, but it has a different name. So you see this one, it failed. So this is why dependency injection is super flexible. It can change the code behavior completely, but you don't need to go into your code and change the code. You just change the binding. You just change binding what to what, and that's it. You can make the code to behave completely differently. And last time I said why you should not write comment, and this is why you should not write comment, because I changed this code, and guess what? I don't care. I didn't pay attention to my comment. My comment is saying something wrong, right? Now I need to change my comment too. It gives me unnecessary trouble. If I change the comment, I'm doing twice the work. If I don't change the comment, I just confuse whoever is reading it. Oh yeah, whoever is reading it is going to have no idea what's happening, right? So that's why you should not write comments. Rather, the code should be clear. The code itself should be clear enough to explain itself. Okay? So here's how you change code behavior. Just the only requirement is laser printer should inherit from printer, so that you can replace printer, right? That's the greatest invention of OOP, object-oriented programming, is the inheritance. The inherited class can replace the base class, so you can bind the printer to different subclass of printer too, and the code will behave completely differently. Another thing you might pay attention to this as transient. What does a transient mean? Okay, I will explain that. I'll change this just so that the okay. pay attention here, you see before I use r equal, here I use r same. R same, I'm asking, are they the same one? I don't. Basically, if you know pointer, the easy way to understand it is you're actually comparing the pointer. Are they pointing to the same thing, or are they pointing to different thing, and those different things are equal? Hope that didn't confuse you. What I'm doing here is I'm going to inject another pointer, not pointer, printer. I inject printer. I inject another printer. Okay, so I have one printer here. I have another printer here. I'm going to ask you, another printer. Are they the same? Somebody make a guess. Remember, our same is comparing their printer. So are their printer pointing to the same printer? Pointer pointing to the same printer. Somebody take a guess. No, different objects, and you're actually correct. So let's run the unit testing and see what happens. That one failed. So Tom is right, they are not the same printer. But there is an easy way to change that. Okay, so if you do as single, if you're basically declaring that there is only one single printer in this universe, and it's just create one laser pointer for it and keep reusing it for every time for anyone asking for it. And the problem of comment is that now I need to change the comment again. Every time someone is asking for a printer, reuse the same laser printer. And if we run the unit testing again, this one should pass. Again, the point is that unit testing makes the code extremely flexible. You can make the code behave completely differently without changing anything. Okay, you're just changing to bind what to what, whether that's single or not single, and the code behaves completely differently as now the unit test passed. Okay, so since this operation is so frequent, I created a shortcut for you. Okay, this true means true, it is single, and the false means false, not single. Your binding pointer to laser pointer. So this line is exactly this line. I just made your life a little easier so you don't repeat your code. So if you go into it, you see that code is exactly the same old code. Okay. So the conclusion is how you how you use unit testing together with dependency injection is that every time you write a class, you should write a corresponding unit test for it. So there is a class called myStack. It does something, I don't know. It does some push and pop. You wrote it. You wrote it. You want to know if your stack is doing the right job. You create a derivative of unit test base, and you inject the thing you want to test. You inject what? Inject the stack. You just inject the thing, and the framework will give you one. And you just write a bunch of tests to test whatever you want to test about, and don't delete your test. Keep it forever. It only costs you like a few bytes on your hard drive, but it saves you several hours to rewrite it. And that's basically how you want to test anything about it. You just write your test here and run your unit testing. So don't delete your test. Just keep them there. It takes a few milliseconds to run it, and it takes a few bytes on your hard drive, but it saves you hours to rewrite it. And guess why this happened? Because I forgot to tell my framework how to inject a stack. Bind my stack to my stack. So a trick I often use is basically always write a test that has nothing. Always have a test like this hanging around in your code. Why? Because first of all, you know this test must always be green, right? If anything happens, this test must always be green, right? Unless something horrible happens, like this one, I forgot to bind something, right? And then if I run this, I know this nothing code should be green, should always be green. And even in the case, even the test with nothing in it failed, then I am very sure I did something horrible, which is usually I forgot to bind stuff. But other than that, that's an indicator whether or not you forgot to buy something. And also this makes it easier to create other tests, right? You just copy that one and test something else. Just copy this one and you can create another test without writing the public void parentheses test. It saves you something to type. I know I said don't copy and paste, and this might be the only exception that I allow you to copy and paste. So this concludes today's workshop. Any questions? Ask me questions. Right, so always keep your testing green. Okay, so if you change some code, every time you change some code, like I have additional space here, just run the testing again. Every time you make a change, run the testing again. You should be able to tell whether or not you create some unwanted side effect. Right here, I just a space, right, created unwanted side effect. I immediately find that out. Just that fast. I immediately find that out, and I know I can go to the code and see what happens. And oh, I accidentally type a space here, right? So this is the end of today's workshop. Any questions, or we'll call this to an end. Oh, you want this file? Okay, everybody wants the empty class. Okay, sure. I will throw it onto Slack. I will throw it onto Slack. So yeah. If you have no more questions, okay, Tom is typing some question. Tom, you have a project to propose? A small project, just a small project. Don't waste a lot of time. Okay. Maybe I'll think of a small project for you to do, and yeah, I'll think of a small project for you to do that basically that uses all the skills, but it's not too complicated. It takes a few hours only a few hours to do, but yeah, I will think of something and post it on Slack. Yeah, I guess there's no more questions, and we will call this to an end. And thank you for attending this workshop. We will have another short workshop on Git, and that will be it. And you will be starting to work on real things. Oh, Yiming is having a question. So this is the second workshop, another workshop on Git, and you will be able to work on real things. Meanwhile, I will give you a small project to work on. Make sure you write unit testing. Make sure you use dependency injection. Oh, actually, one more thing. Yeah, I just want to do one more thing. So here is my personal requirement. So when you do unit testing, inject like this. But when you are writing the production code, the so-called real code, I want you to do injection like this. So for example, for example, in the printer there is a stack, which makes sense, right? The printer keeps track of what to print, right? So in the printer there is a stack, my stack. In the printer there is a stack. Okay, remember last time there I told you there are three ways you can inject this stack. Okay, the worst thing to do is this is the worst thing to do. Okay, when you are doing dependency injection, you never knew anything yourself. Okay, never knew anything yourself. You always ask for it. Remember we talked about this last time. Knew something, create something is a job for a factory. If you're creating something, you violated the single responsibility principle. So this is one way to inject it, but I recommend something else. When you are doing production code, I recommend you to use a constructor. Unless you have a very good reason, always use a constructor to inject. The syntax is quite standard. If somebody can write a script to automate this, I will be very happy. Just like this. You don't have just to make it clear again, you don't have to do this to use dependency injection framework. You don't have to do this. If you use a constructor injection, the framework understands it also. So we can do a test right now. It's not going to give me any error. The framework knows how to handle this. The framework knows how to handle this situation. So just to make it clear, you don't have to use the inject attribute to take advantage of the framework. You can do this. You can do this constructor injection too, and as you can see, the framework also knows how to take care of it, right? So in this case, the printer is asking for a stack. And when the framework sees that, it's going to try to create a stack. But how do I create a stack? Oh, as a single, so you only create one and keep reusing the same stack. I'm actually quite surprised. I'm surprised this didn't give me an error. I'm surprised this laser printer didn't give me an error because I changed the constructor of this. So the constructor of the laser printer should also change, but maybe it's doing something smart. Okay. Any questions? Otherwise, we'll workshop today, and I will think of a small project so you can practice yourself together. Great. No more questions? Okay. I'll see you later. Really no more questions, right? I'll see you later. OK。
今天2个小时内说了多少？我觉得主要的时间应该耗在了不同的 version 这个问题。
这个你有啥建议？
哪个有啥建议？
这个。
你是说这个的指代是
这个
class？
这个
是写这个东西？
这个。
这是 a small project 吗？我想想看，要么就弄个简单点的。
简单点的，就关键是让他们练习 dependency injection 和 unit testing。
那就是还需要有 object 有操作方法。
就是很多个 object 互相协同工作的那种。
协同工作的。很多 object 吧。其实你可以把我们那个做的那个 interface 弄成一个 easy 版。
那个不，那个 easy 不了，那个 easy 不了。
你不要弄 chain 啊，你那个地方你就给它弄一个 array 就行了，然后里面已经放好一点。
我们那个 easy 不了，那个 easy 不了，那个。
给我想那样简单的啊。简单吗？简单能拆成很多很简单的 part， 对吧？
就是那个大家用过的什么一些经典的问题，写个 Hello World。就当写个 Hello World。
Hello World 你不是演示过了吗？已经。
不写一个。
要不就写，要不就是做饭多重继承不同的动物有不同的叫声，这不是原来上课的时候经典例子吗？
是吗？你们居然玩这种游戏？不同动物的不同叫声。
对啊，做过最开始举例就当年学说态啊、继承这些东西，就是说你这个动物每个里面动物是有个叫的，但每个动物可能会有自己的属性的，就很多一堆动物的 class。然后或者还有一些别的东西的 class。你还能分哺乳啊、爬行啊不同的动物了，还有恒温冷血呢。或者是还有什么？多个 object 在一起，我觉得那个就算多个 object 在一起。
他们互相没有什么呀？你是多个 object， 他们互相有干什么吗？
你加点 method。
加什么？
或者互相的，对吧？我想写个互相的。
这个。